Hi, I'm Jennifer from Positively Learning, and I'm so glad that you stopped by. This will be a very quick video. We're going to be talking about what Meet the Teacher can look like for a special educator. This also would apply for related service providers like OT, PT, speech, or even an IEP chair. So I took a poll recently on Instagram all about what Meet the Teacher looks like for special educators, and I was completely blown away because 85% of the teachers who answered this poll said that they do participate in a traditional Meet the Teacher event. And I was shocked because that is absolutely not what my experience has been like. It's been very different. So, what I want to do is just share some resources, whether you have a traditional or kind of not so much. And I hope that this will be helpful for you. Right now, we're looking at a blog post that I just posted. I'll be sure to link it in the comments the description below because it describes all the WH questions. Like, I don't think we really need to talk about why we do Meet the Teacher. I think we know all of that to introduce to ourselves, to our families, help them feel comfortable and welcome, and they have the opportunity to ask and answer questions. But I do talk about what it can look like when I send things home or have these introductions, and exactly how I put it together. So that's what's in the blog post. I'm also going to be speaking to it a little bit and show you exactly what it looks like. I do want to break down just really quickly what a Meet the Teacher event is. I have not experienced a traditional one, I don't think, compared to all the stories I've been hearing from other teachers. It sounds like it's a very ceremonial event where families come in and get to meet the teacher and get to walk around the classroom and find their, supplies, maybe. I don't know exactly. But as a special educator, we don't always have classrooms. I had many years, I was either traveling a little bit or in a closet. I did have a few years where I had a gorgeous resource room. So it was wonderful, but it can look different. And so, my experiences are that we had a little bit of like a back to school night. It didn't occur before school started. It was actually the second or third week of school. And this was pretty much a traditional event where people would come in the evening and there'd be a slideshow of like introducing what we're going to be doing in first grade or whatever grade it is. And what I would do, because it was not my classroom, these are homerooms, I would visit. I'd visit the different homerooms that I knew I was going to have students in for inclusion. And so I would just make sure that I was there so they could put a name to a face and introduce myself. I always seem to have a lot of paperwork at the beginning of the year. I mean, we have it all year round, right? But there was often times where I need some medical assistance forms signed right away to continue services without any kind of meeting or anything. And so I would often have those. I also carried communication logs with me because any conversations I was having with a family, whether they had a IEP already or not, or any questions, I wanted to make sure I was logging those as well. All right, so that was more of a back to school night. A couple of other things we experienced was like in the summer, maybe a week or two before school started, when we were already back for PD and like starting to set up our classrooms, we'd have some type of open hours where families could drop in and like pick up their uniform orders and drop off paperwork, look at class lists to see who their teacher was going to be. Classrooms were not open at this time because it was still like summer, getting everything together. But what I would do is just make sure I was in the area and I was usually just talking to some other teachers, but hoping to have some conversations and help parents find the list and find what they need, introduce myself, and so on. Always carrying my clipboard with paperwork and communication logs as well. The only other scenario that I participated in, and I think it was my favorite for sure. So if you could ever incorporate something like this, I think it would be amazing for you and for families, is that we had a Meet the Teacher event at the end of the previous school year. So, say I was a first grade special educator, kindergarten families would be attending, and every special educator who had a caseload would be just giving a brief overview of like who they are and what the grade looks like. And then we had a chance to ask and answer questions. That was by far my favorite because I think families felt so reassured. They were able to get questions asked before they could go off and go to ESY or enjoy their summer, hopefully. And I felt much better prepared as I was closing up my resource room and getting ready to open it back up in a few weeks, and knowing, I've already met the families and students. So those are a couple of very different scenarios, and it sounds like they're very different than the traditional meet the teacher that I've seen online and in conversations. Okay, so let me just scroll down real quick. I talked about how we answer the WH questions, and I really think this has some great information. In a nutshell, I do put together a 2-page flyer that can be sent home, although there's lots of different options, and I list some in here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. And I do not send it home at the very beginning of the school year. Here's some more templates we're looking at. What I do is I let all the gen ed teachers send everything home, supplies and things we're excited about, and like if there's a change of clothes or whatever. I let all of those things go home and settle and make sure paperwork gets returned. And then in about 2 weeks, I send home a formal introduction. Now, again, hopefully I've already met everybody. If I didn't see them in the summer, or I didn't see them the previous school year, knowing that they were going to be on my caseload, many times I'd be just kind of stalking the arrival line and the dismissal line on the very first week of school. I'd be there every day with my clipboard. I had probably dismissal duty every single year that I've ever taught too. So I was already there, but I made sure I had my clipboard with me and making sure that I had a list of families I would love to greet at the door. So that's, I would wait 2 weeks, and then I would send home a very not formal, but very nice written statement, so that they had my contact information, they had a little bit more information. This is really good for also the other family members who maybe you're always speaking to dad or you're always speaking to mom, but uncle and aunt and other people are very involved. And so it's nice to send this information home. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like. I will say I have 2 different versions. One is in the special educators resource room. It's a huge bundle that you can purchase from TPT, and it lives on my website. So when you get the password after the purchase, thank you, you are going to see a dashboard just like this. And the Meet the Teacher form I'm going to show you today is in the Special Educators Toolkit. One other option is that I do have some Canva templates. Now, if you use Canva, that's going to be amazing. And I showed these a little bit earlier. You can take a closer look on my blog, but these are really nice because you can change everything's customized. You can change the icon, of course, the fonts and the information, and putting in all the photos. You see all the placeholders. I really like this because there's a few options for your team, whether you want to do a grade level team or a team of related service providers, like the IEP team. And then I also have some cues, typed in, what information goes where, and they're all optional. You can use your own style as well. Okay, so now let me show you what I officially send home. So it's in the Special Educator Toolkit, which is inside this bundle, and this is the only place it is available right now. When I click on that, it opens up, and I'm just going to download it. When you download and then open it back up, all those editable properties will be there. It opens up in a PowerPoint, so you can just type into the text box and it's ready for you. Let's see if it's going to open. Oh, it already did. Okay, so what I've put in this file is I have a couple of suggestions of what it can look like, very similar to what's in the blog post, just a few more details. And then I put some pictures of what I send home. This yellow and pink right there is exactly what I send home. There are other options in there for you as well. What I like about this one is it is a 2-pager. That yellow is a full letter size page with the cut off the bottom. The pink that you see below it is the second page. I just staple them together, send them home. My caseload was not huge as far as quantity. It might have a lot of hours or in needs, but it was possibly a dozen, 15 maybe only 10 student or families. And so I would just go ahead and print these out on color paper. Otherwise, copy paper, print it once, copy it as many times as you need. But I liked to use just assorted colors, and then I would mix and match that top page with the bottom page so that I could have it like really bright and noticeable in someone's backpack. So here's what the first page looks like. It just has a box where you can insert your own picture, or you can click on that to delete it. And it has, of course, a big welcome. See that line right there? You're going to cut that off so you get that flip book or 2-layer effect. And I just have some brief, like light information, because the second page is like the heavier information. I realize that top page may not make it too long. That might be just like flipped over and lost, even though I've stapled it. So on the second page, I have the information that's like really important. I sent home quarterly report cards and different progress reports, statements. If you use a program that you could just like cut and paste those. So that's an idea. And then of course I have my contact information. Let me just show you really quickly. I know it's a small picture, but when you look at the pink slip, you can see that that's where my contact information is. So they could even cut that off, put that on the fridge, or whatever they need. All right, so let me just scroll through the rest of it. Actually, I'm going to put it in slideshow so it's just a little bit bigger for everybody to see. All right, some ideas for content, some examples so you can see what it looks like. Again, I send home this 2-page layer flyer, and I send that home like the second week of school. There's the first page, and there's the second page. And of course, you just edit it for your own information. That's a text box that you can just type it in. And then there's some more editable options. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you. What I'm going to do now is I will log out of this video, and I will be sure to link this blog post so that you have everything you need, and let me know if you have any questions about what Meet the Teacher can look like for your situation. Thank you so much for watching.